Hi, I'm Steve Chandler from Property Development Institute. One of the questions that I regularly get asked is how or what is the best process to get started in property development? And look, a lot of people say, should I be doing townhouses? Should I be doing a duplex, 2 from 1? What should I be doing? An apartment block of 10 apartments? Or how? What should I do? And realistically, the easiest way to get started in property development is to renovate an apartment. And that might sound quite simplistic, but yeah, it is. It is. Renovating an apartment can actually be the best way for you to experience property development whilst putting the least amount of money at risk and to practice your skills. So if you contemplate how we would go about doing a renovation project, let's have a look at that. So the first thing you've got to do is be able to understand which property to acquire, where that property is, and if you do acquire it and you do renovate it, what the cost of that renovation will be, what the time frame will be, what all of your interest rates and finance fees will be and holding costs will be over that period of time, and what revenue you'll get from selling that apartment in the future. So all of this is part of the property development process. And once you understand that process, it's really quite simple to get started. So putting into practice what you have learned about that property development process is really the simple way to get started. An apartment generally doesn't require An apartment renovation doesn't usually require an authority approval. It might require approval from the building manager or the owner's corporation within the building. They might have rules about when you can move men and materials around inside the building, etc. So you just have to find out what those conditions might be. Complying with those conditions is very similar to complying with what your local authority might have. So there are those authority constraints, if you'd like to think of it that way. So that's the first aspect. Understanding all of your costs and revenue. That's another aspect of what we do as a developer. Actually finding the trades and delivering the project for the budget that you've set is another aspect of property development, and then being able to sell the property upon completion and make that money, and then covering all your costs and making a profit. So for example, my wife and I did we do this regularly. Our very first one that we did, we made a horrendous mistake. We made an assumption about what the market wanted or actually needed. And what we did is we did a buy, renovate, sell of an apartment in a location where there's a lot of older apartments that do get renovated by owner-occupiers. There are still quite a number of tenants in the area, and that was the market that we thought someone might buy it to either own and to live in, or if they tenanted it out, then they would put a high quality tenant into a really nice apartment. So we looked at that and we thought, look, this area's got a lot of restaurants, a lot of the people are young professionals, it was close to the city, all the right things were there. And the one mistake that we made that cost us a lot of money, but we still got out of this by making a small profit, but it costs us a lot of money because this one mistake, and I'll tell you what it is at the end of the video, the one mistake that we made was this assumption about something the market wanted or needed. And we learned right there and then that doing better market research in a market will help you make money. So the result of, we put our property, we thought it was amazing, the real estate agent said it was amazing when it was done, it looked really pretty, etc. Put it to auction and we didn't sell. And the reason it didn't sell is because of this assumption that we made that ended up in the project. What it meant is that we were at auction in November of whatever year it was now, I can't remember. It was November, we had Christmas coming up. All of the comments from everyone who came through were the same thing. There was one thing, the assumption was wrong. So we spent the Christmas New Year period when in Australia every tradesman goes on holidays. What did we do? We had to rip apart part of what we had created and then put it back together again with the missing part that we had made the assumption about, and put it back on the market in February, which then sold in March. So that little mistake that we made cost us about 4 or 5 months and a substantial difference in price expectation. And what did we do? We simply thought in a 1-bedroom apartment that an oven wasn't necessary. So we had a 2-burner cooktop, we had a microwave, we had the fridge, we had dishwasher, we had everything except the oven, because we thought, assumption, that people would actually buy their dinner coming home late. Well, whether they wanted that oven to reheat or whether they wanted to cook, I don't know. The fact remains, you cannot sell an apartment in that particular area without an oven. Every other project that we've done in that area, we've put an oven in, funnily enough, and we've been quite successful. So one of the lessons is that you must know the property development process, but never ever make assumptions. What you think doesn't matter. It's what the purchaser thinks that matters the most. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you. If you are looking to get into property development, to start a first project, an apartment project, a buy, renovate, sell is absolutely a great way to get started. But no assumptions, market research. Always do your market research, and you must understand the property development process. If you don't understand that process and you don't do your feasibility up front, there's a good chance that regardless of whether you've done your market research or not, you may not make money. It's very important. You must understand the process and you must do market research as part of that process. Thanks for watching.